New York City, known for the bright lights and tall buildings, but what lays beneath the surface? What makes the city alive? Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Staten Island, the 5 boroughs of New York City are what gives the city its charm. The people making up these neighborhoods give it its reputation of glamour and big dreams. Who exactly are these characters that make up one of the most populated cities in the world? And where are they from?
Brooklyn, baby.
What is it that makes Brooklyn so special?
The people in it. Oh, they were all exciting and funny and
Italian.
and a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And everybody knew everybody. There were set neighborhoods. There were Irish here, and you crossed an avenue, and then that was Italian. You crossed another avenue the other way that was Jewish, and that's how it was. We all mingled. We all mingled. Yes, I was 10 years old when World War II ended. I had one of my cousins in the next block. 2 of them got killed, and they brought the one boy home. He got killed on Iwo Jima. And they brought his body home, and they put him in a casket in the living room of his home for his mother and father to have him. And I went there when I was 10 with my mother, and there was another Marine in full dress uniform standing at attention near the coffin. And I'll never forget that.
Many in the city turned to religion after this period of mass destruction.
It's very tight, Roman Catholic religion. I went to Catholic schools. Catholic school was good. You know, Catholic school is not what everybody makes it out to be, where everybody got beat and, you know, terrible things happened. Never happened to me. I went to Catholic grammar school, and I went to Catholic high school for 2 years. Brooklyn was the greatest place a young person could grow up. The Brooklyn Dodgers were everything.
Brooklyn's faithful fans roar in salute and hope as the Dodgers take the field. Carl Furillo, who had hit a homer for the Dodgers' final run in the 1953 series against the Yankees, does it again, knocking the ball into the right field seats.
We all loved the Brooklyn Dodgers, and we went crazy for the Brooklyn Dodgers. And our lives were consumed by the Brooklyn Dodgers. And we just had wonderful times. We played stickball in the streets, we played punch ball in the streets. We played ball by ourselves, none of the parents were involved, which was nice. You know, it was very nice. And we could just get on a bus on the corner and go to a baseball field, and with our bats and balls and our gloves, and play pickup games against other kids that were playing in the sandlots. And we could do anything we wanted. Our parents never interfered with us. They were glad to see us go out and not come home all day. They were all nut jobs. They were all a little crazy. Most of them were a little crazy. But people were. There were a lot of crazy people in Brooklyn, you know, entertaining crazy. And nice. And nice. And we all were loyal to each other. And the focal point of every neighborhood for when you were a teenager, when you first became like 12 or 13, you went to what they call little candy stores that were up on the avenue, and you started hanging out there because we all worked. We all worked in the grocery store, we delivered papers, we worked in the drugstore delivering medications to the houses, and we got paid. And we, you know, then we would go to the candy store and hang out with other kids our age and buy egg creams. And egg cream is a special type of a soda that's only known in New York City area, in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And then That was it, you know. We were never home. Never, just for supper. There's 9 of them that are alive that I meet when I go up there in the summer. And everybody had nicknames. There was Louis the Greek. He was a good guy. He was a very good baseball player and a hockey player. Sally Bra. His last name was Brazesi, so he got the name Bra. Fat Harry. They called me the Irishman. Gussie Brown was another one. Gussie Brown became a bookie when he was a teenager. And a bookie is somebody who takes bets, you know, that are not legal. Vinny Titz was another. Zeke. This guy, Paul Zito, we called him Zeke because he played third base, and there was a third baseman in the major leagues, and he looked like him, and his name was Zeke, so he got the name Zeke. That's how we all got our nickname. Everybody had a nickname. Another guy had a nickname because they were all Italian. They were all first generation Americans, Sicilians. And we had one boy, his name was Najere Beep, which in Italian says big nose. And that's what everybody called him, Najere Beep. You know. And they were all crazy kids. They were all crazy kids. And when I started hanging out in a candy store where there were all Italians, my father said, "What are you doing hanging out with all the Italians?" Because the Irish and the Italians of our father's generation didn't like each other because they all fought for the same jobs, because they were all bull-collar, hard-working men. My family was funny, entertaining, and they were very good. They were characters. They were all, everybody was a character. Oh, they talked funny. They all talked funny. All the old people in Brooklyn talked funny. And they talked like in the old movies.
Yes? What is it?
I'm terribly sorry to bother you, but I forgot the key to my front door, so I had to ring your bell. I feel so silly.
In the old comedy movies.
Brooklynese.
And they were funny. They were really funny. They were loving. My parents were very loving. If your grandmother says that, she's lying about her family.
I do want to laugh at the usual.
Not all of New York City followed in Brooklyn's footsteps. The next part of our story takes place in the slums of Queens.
Well, originally South Jamaica.
A ghetto.
You better shut the fuck up. South Jamaica.
South Jamaica, New York.
Shut up! You yelled at me for talking while you were doing it. South Jamaica. Because he's stupid. He's such a stupid asshole. South Jamaica. South Jamaica, New York.
City.
I lived in a ghetto neighborhood, and I was never allowed out of the house. I didn't do Halloween. I didn't do anything because it wasn't a great neighborhood. My uncles were all involved in illegal things. My aunts were all illiterates because they only went to school for the 5th grade. But they were a lot of fun. They were very witty. My parents. They would have been better off if they didn't have children. Well, one time I asked my mother why my name was Carol. And she said, because I didn't want to take you home from the hospital because I didn't want another girl. So I didn't name you. And the nurses, then my aunt went and picked me up. That's how I got out of the hospital. So I was so wanted. Then we moved to Franklin Square, and it was all Italians. So my father belonged to the Italian-American Republican Club. And all my mother's friends were Italian, and my mother spoke fluent Italian, so did my father. They never let us know what they were talking about.
Do you know anything in Italian?
All the curse words. Vaffanculo.
What does that mean?
Vaffanculo, bye. Fuck your sister or your father. I don't really curse in Italian. I'd rather curse in English.
The Catholic school experience over in the Bronx was very different from that in Brooklyn, to say the least.
I went to Catholic school, strict Catholics. Disgusting. The nuns beat the crap out of us, especially me, because I was so bad. I used to step on the back of their gowns and choke them as they walked by. One time, the nun smacked me so hard across my face that she left her 5 fingers on my face. I had to walk home from school. When I got home, my mother said, "What happened?" I said, "The nun smacked me." So my mother went up to school and smacked her face and called her a baldy-knot bastard.
Even with a rocky family life and even tougher time at school, there was a redeeming factor.
It was nice. I had a nice life with all my friends. They were very nice to me. I was divorced. Well, my girlfriend Josie and I were always together. We were like sisters. We used to do silly things, you know, throw rocks at cars and stuff. You know, walk around like there was something mentally wrong with us across the street. Go out with the guys, you know, then we would walk up to the turnpike from my house, which was a mile, and, you know, whoever had the nicest car, we got in and took a ride with them, that we knew. If they didn't have a nice car, we didn't get in. So my girlfriend Josie, we're friends since I'm 9 years old, and we're still friends. She was a wonderful girl, wonderful girl. People used to ask her, why did she hang out with me? And she was just this, her parents were wonderful. They were always loving and sitting on each other's laps. And she had 5 children in her family, and it was a nice family. And I spent a lot of time over there. You know, I have very fond memories of all of them, the Vastas. I dated guys from Brooklyn. I had a lot of dates. I was very popular. You know, if a guy had bought something I didn't like, I wouldn't go out with him again. If you know, I was very particular. My mother used to yell at me all the time, "You're never going to get married." Then when I told her I was going out with an Irishman, she was like, "Oh my God, does he drink?" I said, "I don't know."
How did this shining Brooklyn boy and the girl from the slums of Queens end up together?
Blind date.
Blind date.
My cousin's
A man
husband.
I worked with, a guy I worked with, he told me, he said, "The family will give you money if you go out with this girl."
Such a lie. Drop dead. No, I couldn't stand him.
I was disinterested.
He asked me out again, so I went. I had nothing else to do.
He was a close friend of mine that we worked together, and he married her cousin. And he kept after me and kept after me.
And me.
So it just went again, and then it just connected.
The Italians and the Irish didn't get along very well back in the day. Fighting for the same jobs gave them very rude opinions of each other.
Oh, they didn't want me to date an Irishman because they thought they were all alcoholics. That's the way it was in those days. You know, your parents were very narrow-minded.
And my family thought the Italians were all thieves and killers and pickpockets. But my family is a little more conducive to me.
My mother-in-law loved me to
Bringing the
death.
girl home.
Loved me.
Her family was all very happy because I would get her away from them. They couldn't stand her anymore.
Your mother couldn't stand you. She wasn't even talking to you. The creep.
Now, how did the two people who seemingly hate each other end up getting married?
Oh, when I found out I was pregnant. Well, such thrills.
Yeah, we still didn't live together because that wasn't right.
Yeah, but we could screw. We started dating in April. We got married in November. We just said, like,
I said, well, all right.
well, we'll get married. What the hell?
I'm not busy that day.
I wish I would have been.
Are you happy you ended up getting married?
We had a good marriage. We had a happy life.
Sometimes.
Although
We had our ups and
She's
downs.
been an annoying person for a very long time.
Annoying.
Oh, the wedding was wild.
Best. We had so much fun.
Irish and Italian? Forget about
The
it.
Italians were singing Italian songs, the Irish were singing vice versa. I mean, it was really very nice.
Very nice.
His friends were wonderful. We had such a good time.
My uncles got up
It
and,
was all downhill after that, though, Brooke.
you know, when they put the garter on the girl's leg, well, one of my friends caught the garter and he put it on this woman that we didn't know.
Dottie.
Put it on her leg.
I knew her.
And she was just like a spinster.
Yeah.
And they went all the way up. And then when he finished doing that, all my friends grabbed this guy, Zeke, and picked him up and paraded all around the dance floor with him.
And of course, when we first walked into the wedding, his cousin from the Irish side was puking as we walked past us.
He was already
He was drunk. Johnny
Grandma
was
was pregnant
66.
7 times in 11 years,
Yeah, I had 2 miscarriages.
but we hated each other.
I had 5 living. My oldest is Denise Marie, then I have John Patrick, and then I have Danielle Suzanne, and then I have Nicole Diane, and then I have Michael Collin,
And me.
the biggest kid.
So I worked nights, and she was crying every night, and her mother was crying because she was lonely, so we moved to their house. About a year and a half.
Yeah, when did we move to Coram?
Coram, we moved to 1966. We moved way out in Long Island.
Okay, then we moved again.
Then we moved. Then we moved.
Constantly.
Then we moved to Oakdale. Then we moved to
Twice, no.
Islip Terrace again, and then we moved to Deer Park, and
Then we moved to Venice, Florida. Then we moved to Sarasota, Florida. And then we wound up here with my daughter in Georgia. Oh, much different. First of all, my sisters lived a block away. So between us, we had 12 children. I had 2 sisters, and all the cousins hang out together, and it was wonderful. We always got together. I saw my sisters every day.
wonderful for the children.
It was wonderful, wonderful for me. I loved my sisters to no end. They passed away. And we had a nice time. I enjoyed myself living out there, even though I had to force him to move there. Ooh.
Yeah.
You had your business.
She kept me away from my friends for 20 years
Because they were creeps.
because we were all bad. We were all bad. You know.
First, he started out as a printer. He had his own shop.
I came home from work and I said, I quit my job and I'm going in business. And I went down to the bank and I borrowed $5,000 for a home improvement loan. And I bought a linotype machine, which nobody that sees this will know what that is unless their grandfathers know. And I went in business and I didn't have a customer. And I was making no money. And after about 5 years, I was making very good money because I never stopped. I never gave up.
So wonderful.
And then we moved, we sold the house, and then I expanded the business, and then we moved near her sisters. I never wanted to move near her sisters.
And you only did because you could have a business in the house.
I only did because I could
Always
buy
for
a house.
selfish reasons, never for me.
Because
Always for
I could
him.
have the-
Everything he wants, I have to follow.
But she got what she wanted.
Oh, shut up.
She got what she
Shut up, shut up, shut up.
Life never really turns out the way we expect it to, but with family, whether it's the family you're born into, the family you make, or the family you accidentally end up with family, life becomes so much richer. There are legacies and stories to pass on through the years, tales of the old times and new memories to make.